Hi, everyone. Welcome to the LaunchPreneur experience. Today, I'm so happy to talk to Francine Sinclair. She is one of my besties, and we have some projects together. We have been doing some work together, and I just love everything that Francine does and how she shows up for the audience. So welcome, Francine. And she is going to be talking about something very, very needed with a lot of the launchpreneurs that are out there, and they are creating content daily or weekly or monthly. Francine is going to talk about how to squeeze the juice out of your content. So welcome, Francine.
Thank you, Fernanda, for having me here. I feel so honored to be in this summit with such nice and interesting people and people that I actually look up to. So thanks for putting this together.
Oh, thank you. And tell a little bit about what you do and how you help your clients, and a little bit of your background.
Yeah, so for the past couple of years, I've been helping my clients, usually established entrepreneurs, repurpose their content. Lately, I've been working on a proprietary system called the content activation method, which is a way to generate leads for half the price that you're probably investing now by using a combination of organic and paid strategies, so that you can not only repurpose your content and get the most out of it, but also save you time and money. So that's what I've been doing lately. And my background, I'm originally from San Juan, Puerto Rico. I was born in Jersey. I live in Tampa, Florida. I was a stay-at-home mom for a decade or more, a little bit over a decade. And then at some point, I decided once my kids were older that it was time for me to do something with that wonderful degree that I got in college that I never actually used much. So now I'm using it.
Isn't that amazing how many of us have just changed our journey? And I really want to, the audience to feel inspired that anywhere you are in your journey right now, it doesn't mean that's where you have to stay, right? But it just keep taking action so you can keep moving forward to where you want to be, or if you are and where you want to be, what are the next steps for you, right?
Absolutely.
So I am very curious, and just so the audience knows, I don't know much about what Francine is doing with her content activation. I know what she does with repurposing. Can you tell us a little bit for the audience that's been launching, that's been creating content? Why is it important for us to repurpose content?
Well, the reason why it's important to repurpose content is because it's important to focus more on the quality of the content that you do create rather than the quantity. So instead of creating copious amounts of content that may not be of such good quality, it's better to create some really good core content with a lot of juice in it, right? Like I like to say, with a lot of meat on the bones, so that then the repurposing process can take care of the quantity. And when you do have that quantity, you can be present in more platforms more often. So you can become sort of omnipresent, which will allow you to reach more audiences. You can increase your visibility that way, of course. You can position yourself better as the expert, and you can reduce the amount of time and energy that you are putting into constantly creating content, and just really focus on that quality of content, which is going to give you a better return for your investment on your effort.
Yes. And, the time that it saves, like for somebody like me, that I have one of my challenges writing, it's easy for me to be talking than it is for me to write. So can you talk a little bit more about what is the repurposing, like how people repurpose their content? What is it and how they repurpose? Because it's so, when you're creating content and you're already doing your launches or you're already doing your videos, right? You can save so much time, energy by just using what you already have. Like for me, that I have, like a challenge writing, but not talking, as you can as you can
Yeah.
hear.
So there are some steps that everybody can take. So you want to decide on what is the core form of content, larger form content that you're going to decide to create on a regular basis. If you like, in your case, let's just take video. Some people prefer podcasts. Some people like to write articles. They're just, some people have books. So it just depends on what you want your core content to be, which is where you're going to pour all of, your effort into. And you can decide whether you want to create that content once a month, twice a month, 4 times a month, whatever that's going to be for you. Okay. Then you're going to take step number 1, because you wanted steps. You're going to take that core content that you've created, and then you're going to put it through, you're going to create a system for repurposing your content. So I would say step number 1, let's just say you have a video that wants to be repurposed. You are going to choose which video resonated best with your audience. You never want to repurpose content that was not, that really didn't, that nobody really cared, right? You want to repurpose the best one. And the way you're going to figure that out is by either looking at your insights or looking at the reactions, the shares, the views, etc. That will give you an indication of which content is the one that you should repurpose. So if it's a video, the first thing that I do is I transcribe this content. I have, you can take that video, and then once you've transcribed it, I have someone who does the audio work, the video work, the copy, different parts of the puzzle. So you can take your core content, you can turn it into many different types of formats. You can create long written posts. You can create reels, stories. You can create infographics. You can create audiograms, quotes with videos. You can take a video and turn it into a clubhouse room. You can take a video and turn it into a blog. So there are many things that you can create. Now, you don't want to be all over the place. So you want to decide ahead of time what type of content you're going to create. How many times a week are you going to post? Where are you going to post? And then based on that, decide what type of content do you want to create, so that you don't have to create all of them. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then based on that, then you're going to, once you have that video, that raw, what I call your core content, that raw file, your transcription, you're going to go off and request from your video person to do your videos, snippets, reels, whatever it is, whatever form that you choose, your shorter form content. Out of that, then you can have, I get the graphic designer to do the graphics part, copy, somebody to write a blog or write the captions. So you have I guess a team of people that you can delegate parts of the process to. What I do for my clients is they just plug me into their business, and I handle dealing with all of those people. But this is something that you most definitely can do on your own. Unless you really want to be doing all these parts yourself, which is unlikely, you want to have somebody to do this for you. You want to decide on what is the call to action that you're going to use for the specific campaign that you're using this video for. Maybe this content is for a cold audience, and your call to action can be on, most of these could be, go to your blog or go to your lead magnet, download it. If it's a warm audience, maybe the call to action is to join your workshop. If it is a hot audience, maybe the call to action is to join your course, or whatever that is. So you have to decide what is it doesn't always have to be the same call to action, but you want to have a call to action. Then, and I took notes because sometimes I forget things. So you want to create a system for storing your assets. If you do not have a system to store the assets, video work, audio work, copy, all of that, it will turn into a massive mess. And you know me, Fernanda, I am not the most organized person in the world, but for this, I have to be organized or I will completely lose my mind, because you have to have, a system for storing these assets and naming conventions for these assets so that you can keep it all organized. Okay. And then you ideally want to have someone manage this entire process for you, do your postings, maybe the engagement, and manage, okay, are the graphics back? Are the videos back? All of these elements or pieces of the puzzle. And then after you've done it a couple of times, you start to develop a repeatable system that you can just do over and over again. With one piece of content, you literally can really actually fill your entire social media calendar for a month. Depends on the content. It could be 2. So you can take one. I mean, I've been able to fill a content calendar for a month with a 3-minute video. But yeah, but it's about the quality of the content, right? So yeah, I mean, that's an extreme thing, but I have done it just because creativity is the limit, right? Another thing that you don't want to do is post the same content on all of your social media platforms at the same time, on the same day.
That makes sense.
And then also you want to create some content that is unique to the platform. For example, Instagram carousels, that's unique to Instagram, right? You also
LinkedIn, for example, you're right. You don't put the link in there. They have a certain format, certain language.
Yeah. And if you're writing a long written post on Facebook, it's not necessarily going to fit on LinkedIn because they have a character limit. You also want to make sure that when you're going to order all your assets, that they are sized according to where you're going to post it. Is it going to be a story? Is it going to be an Instagram post? Is it going to be an Instagram story? Is it going to be the sizes? Right? The size that this is important, because if not, you're going to be going back and forth with fixing things after they're already done. And so that is in a nutshell. Let me see if I'm missing anything else. Don't forget to determine, your specific business objectives for the campaigns that you're trying to, is it something that you're trying to build awareness? Are you what is it that you're trying to do? Because then you want to make sure that you're tracking your key performance indicators. What goal did you set out at the beginning, and how are you going to track it? And because you need to know if it's working or not. So those are things to keep in mind when you are repurposing your content. So I love repurposing content because it's just another way for the person, the business owner, the entrepreneur to just be able to focus on what they do best, do the best with their favorite form of content, and not have to worry about having to create all of this content constantly, which takes a lot of time and effort.
So yes, thank you so much for being so detailed and explain the whole process, because in my mind it was so much, easier than that. But from what I hear you explaining with the system, you don't need even to hire a copywriter, right? In terms of to write your content for you, because that's what I was doing. I was hiring a copywriter to write the content, leaving voice notes, but I didn't have the videos. So there's only so much she can do with the voice notes I leave. There's no video in there. But when you do a video, now you can repurpose that into little snippets. And yeah, so I love what you said about, having a system and the KPIs, because I am a data person, as you know. I live by numbers. And when you start seeing how much your content is converting, then you can see what you need to change for the next month, or what kind of content do you need to keep creating. And this is so important, because before the launch, one of the things people that are launching for the first time, they are creating their assets. They don't have a lot of videos out there, but they could even use video testimonials from their clients, right?
Yeah, that can most definitely be one of your forms of content, and you can repurpose those as well in different formats. I would recommend people capture testimonials in video, and then you can make them into writing. You can use them in written form, you can use them in video form, whatever way. You can make text with video. So capture them in video first, and then you can repurpose it from there. Another thing that I wanted to mention was part of your core content are also your bridge stories. So what is a bridge story? A bridge story is when you are talking about your personal experience, you are talking about yourself, about your life, about whatever that is tied to a pain point, a value, a goal, a desire of your ideal audience. And you're tying that to a business, so something related to the business. So I did a bridge story a few months ago about, a relationship that I had and how we just didn't fit together. And then I brought that around and say, hey, sometimes your clients, as much as you want to work with them, sometimes you're just not a good fit. Just like that relationship, as much as you wanted that relationship, it was just not a good fit. So, I mean, tying those things together, because also you have to remember that people want to learn to, they want to get to know you, because the people want to buy from people these days and not just brands. So that's an important element. So focus on your core content and also on your bridge stories. And bridge stories, I would say, if you do 4 a month, that's great. If you do 2 a month, that's great. So
yes, and the bridge to content, it's important not only, for the content, but inside of the launch as well. We use that to bridge, that, okay, I have been teaching for this long. Now it's time for you to understand how I can serve you and why. And one of the things that I see too, it's even if you hire copywriters, sometimes it takes a while for them to really get your voice. So when you're repurposing the content, that's your voice, that's you. It's your authentic self. It's not somebody trying to get you and trying to put that into words.
Right.
Which
it's already there. It's already
there.
I could literally pull a quote that somebody said in their content and put their name under it because they actually said that. You created an audiogram. They're actually saying that. Right. And so another point is that you can use this same method for your launches. Take the content, the content of your launches, repurpose it, use it, to increase your website traffic and reduce your ad spend. Absolutely. So you can, you just don't have to be on the content wheel all the time. It's much better if you repurpose it.
So you just read my mind, because that's the next point I was going to say. So if you're launching and you have all of those days that you have been teaching, and I see like so many clients that would come and say, okay, what do I do with this now? And there's so many ways you can repurpose that live launch you did or the webinar you did, not just in forms of posts, but also as a lead magnet, also as a way, as a free gift that you can give to somebody, because it's a full-on training, right? When a lot of the times when you do your launch, you are training people, you're giving them real results, real time. So that can be something you use to generate more leads that are, out there, and you can give that for free to have people come into your ecosystem. And that can be repurposed in that way. It can be repurposed in the way, like Francine was saying, you can use your live launch. Now that's done, get the results that people had in the group that they shared. Make sure you ask the audience to share the results. Like I'm going to ask you guys to share the results here. Why? Because the next time we do another event like this, I want the audience to understand how much you guys had a transformation, how much you guys enjoyed. So when you do your event in the way, thinking already that you're going to repurpose it, then you can design the days in a different way, not just showing up, but you can design thinking, I'm going to repurpose this into a free training, or I'm going to repurpose this into a webinar or into a email launch, to anything in the end, but just start with the end in mind.
I start with the end in mind. Absolutely. And it starts becoming second nature after a while. But yes, sometimes I've had a client that had VHSs, a bunch of content in VHS from the 90s, early 2000s that, had to be processed to be able to, but all that is content that you already created. Squeeze the juice out of it. That's all I have to say. And you'll benefit from it.
Save time, connect in a more authentic way. And also, it's a shame to see some of the launches being like, okay, now let's do another one. And that one is, unless, even if you do a launch that nobody bought from you, you can still repurpose that content. Even if you did a launch that in your, in your understanding was a fail, which I don't believe any launches are a fail. They're just, pieces that you're moving forward and you're learning and you're tweaking and you're learning why, as long as you keep your data, you know why and why it didn't work. And then you can do it again. Even those launches have so many, aha moments for people. They can be repurposed. At least get the content, squeeze the content out of there.
Squeeze the content and use that same content that you repurpose. We can, drive more. You can use that content to drive more traffic to your website and decrease your ad spend. You see so many people, talking about what's going on with ads. Ads still work. It's just there's certain elements, certain things have to be done right. But you know how it is. People have spent, but you can literally use the content you already repurposed to drive down your ad spend. So that's an additional thing, but it's all possible.
I think I'm going to have you come into a bonus session and talking about that.
Yeah. And I can have a guest on that too. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Let's talk about it. And so thank you so much, Francine, for sharing all those, amazing tips and sharing the system as well that you have been using and the process, the steps to recreate, to repurpose your content. And Francine has done, she has been amazing at serving her clients with that and saving them time. That's what I need. So anyways, Francine, gift the audience, everybody that registered for this event got a free gift from Francine, that is the Content Repurpose Framework. So make sure you download, make sure you look into that and connect with Francine in the group. She's going to be there. And can you share with them what the action step, what is the thing you want them to do in the group that you're going to give them feedback on?
Yes. So the thing that I would like you to do is answer the question, what type of content are you creating regularly, your core content that can be used for repurposing? So if you answer that question, then I'll be able to guide you through some of the steps.
Can I answer that question too?
Yes, go ahead. You can answer. Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much, Francine. I so appreciate, and I hope to see you all inside. Make sure you connect with Francine and also tag her in your questions so she can support you. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Take care.